In the spring of 1946, after being overseas for a year, I was entitled to a leave, but had no way of getting home, of course. I had an option of going to Rome or the Netherlands. The Army had set up facilities for us who wanted to go and see those places. I picked Rome because I also wanted to see Salzburg again, which I do on my trip down or up. I could see it on the way. On the way down on the train, I took scads of pictures of the Italian coastline. Later, I found that lots of pictures of the coast was not all that interesting, so I eventually threw them away. We were put up in a hotel of some kind, managed by the Army, I suppose, in Rome, and we were given breakfast. Sitting on the table was this large pitcher of milk. We had not had milk for a year, and it looked so good. We eagerly poured a glass and took a swig. Darn, it was instant milk. So back to coffee and water. We had to drink instant coffee for months after the war. The real stuff wasn't coming to us, that's for sure. I think what we had been getting at Darmstadt was being given to the Fräuleins by the mess sergeant. We saw the Vatican and the catacombs. I managed to attend a German symphony, but back up in Salzburg I saw Italian opera. After getting back to Darmstadt, we marked time, finally, doing some radio operating. During this time, the headquarter battery commander came up to my room, and as I got to attention, he said, "Gudgel, to be a sergeant, you have to be a soldier, and you are not a soldier." Bill Sheldon and a friend in the 39th Field Artillery clown around with a couple German bouncing Bettys. You will note, though, that they are not about to drop them. About 40 years later, he said it was probably not a good idea. He had matured some by then. Goofy and friend. That's Goofy on the left. I didn't even know they were looking for a sergeant, or I would have got to attention faster. So they gave the promotion to Blake. We did very little training, mostly sitting at the radio console waiting for some traffic, which was very little. Little because we were at peace and there was no training going on. The radio was a large Morse code radio housed in a trailer. We were prepared to communicate with other armies and regiments and whatever. Bill Sheldon, 39th Field Artillery for 4 years in World War II. You are missed terribly. I never did enough radio to get really good at it. That takes practice. I was sitting at the radio when the prison camp prisoners were brought in to police up the area that I described previously. Finally, it was approaching my 2 years, and I was ordered to pack up and ship out. We went to Marburg for a few days, then up to Bremerhaven, where we loaded on the SS McAndrew for the trip to Fort Dix. The McAndrew was just as crowded as the Queen Elizabeth, but as it was an American ship, I think the food was better.